worst thing Boris Johnson has done, far worse than eating a birthday cake or be unfaithful to his women, is egging on the world to fight an unwinnable, useless war in the Ukraine in which thousands, tens of thousands of young people are going to be pointlessly killed. And we're spending money which could be spent on our own
But what's the solution, Andrew? The solution, the corollary of what you're saying is let Putin take Ukraine.
Yes, it is. It is.
And then what happens?
And then, little by little, Ukraine is a country riddled with corruption. It's just as nasty as Russia. Let them get on with it. It's their quarrel. It's not our quarrel. We're spending billions of pounds, which could be spent on disadvantaged people in this country, on the NHS and so on weapons for these Slavs to slaughter one another. It's a wickedness. It's not a virtue. He's not Winston Churchill. It's an absolute wickedness.
Joan, do you think it's our quarrel or their quarrel?
Yes, I agree with Andrew that. I mean, whenever he was in trouble, Boris nipped over to Ukraine and had his photograph taken with Zelensky. I mean, that was one of his strategies, was to look good on the war in Ukraine, to avoid any domestic headlines which would go against him. I thought he was very clever about that, but it wasn't profoundly felt by him.
But do you feel...
Ask anybody who knows the Ukraine intimately, where has all the money gone to that we are sending and that the Ministry of Defence is spending? Some, yes, is being spent on clapped out old MiG jets flying out from Poland, but an awful lot of it is going into the pockets of the Ukrainian government. They're fantastically corrupt. I mean, we're not told the truth about Ukraine by the BBC or anybody because people are so ignorant about it.
But you don't think, either of you, that there is a moral point here that Vladimir Putin, if you let him take Ukraine, he started in 2014, he increased it this year, he will go to other parts of Eastern Europe where we have an alliance with them. We have the NATO alliance. He goes into Latvia or Estonia or wherever like that. We are forced to fight a land war with him. That's what the NATO alliance says. He must be stopped. And it is in our interest to stop him, because if we let him take Ukraine, who knows where he goes next? Joan, do you not think there's an argument in that, irrespective of the politicking that goes on in this country?
Yes, I think you're right about that, but we're rather late to the game, aren't we? I mean, we should have been dealing with the threat to Ukraine long before he invaded. We should have known about Putin decades ago. He made his intentions quite clear, and we didn't take any steps at that time to have a proper strategy towards the re-emerging Russian Empire, as he would have it known. So, I mean, we're late to the game, and we're hurrying to catch up, and we have to do that with NATO. But it's no good just popping over to Ukraine and sending them lots of armaments. I don't think that's the appropriate place to be at the moment.